marquee matchups of the year in college basketball. It's a top 5 showdown in the SEC. LSU and South Carolina, the two teams have combined to win each of the last 3 national championships. Inside Colonial Life Arena, but outside earlier this week. Well, we're delayed because of the snowstorm that hit the Deep South. Kim Mulkey, head coach, the Tigers, and her son Kramer Robertson playing a little tackle football. Mylasia Fulwiley and Sanaya Fagan also breaking it down in the snow here, the state capital of the Palmetto State. What an environment, what a scene. You're watching the SEC on ESPN, and they do not get much bigger than this game here today. All storylines covered with the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. I'm Roy Philpott. Holly Rowe joins us in just one moment. Rebecca, it's one of the games of the year. It does not get much bigger than this one.
And certainly over the course of the last 3 seasons, there has not been a more heated rivalry in the SEC. These two teams combined, only 1 loss between them. Expect a great one here tonight.
Gamecocks have won 68 games in a row here on their home court. And the stars are going to be shining brightly. We'll start first with what LSU brings to the table. And Flau'jae Johnson, she is dropping albums. She's scoring more than 20 points per game. She is getting it done in a remarkable number of ways.
And so fun to watch her, especially in the open floor. This young woman averaging 20 points a game this season. That's 5 more than a year ago. She flourishes when she can get out in the open floor. Also terrific in the mid-range, willing to get her teammates involved as well. And how about for South Carolina, Mylasia Fulwiley in transition. Such an exciting player, hangs in the air, can finish as well. This young woman is worth watching, coming off a big game a season ago against LSU.
An enormous game here tonight. You take a look at the numbers a season ago, 24 points, a career high up in Greenville in the SEC tournament championship game. And Johnson's numbers, as you would expect, one of the premier stars in America today. Well, both coaches talked to us extensively today about a number of different components for this game, including the importance of rebounding. Holly Rowe has more.
Well, both coaches said the #1 thing to winning this game is rebounding. And for LSU, they have someone they can count on to get that done. Anissa Morrow has proven to be one of the most reliant and resilient bigs in the country. She will have possible 93rd double-double tonight. If she does, she'll move into 2nd place all-time in NCAA history. When I talked to her about why she's so consistent on the glass, scoring the ball, she said, nothing in my life has come easy. I've worked for everything. And Kim Mulkey said that. You'll see her every single possession work. She'll have her work cut out tonight to get the rebounds they need to win this game.
Set and ready to go at Colonial Life Arena. The opening tip controlled by LSU.
South Carolina is starting out in a man-to-man as Anissa Morrow scores. You will see a heavy dose of that when you watch LSU play. Wing, pick and roll, they executed it beautifully there.
Morrow has played in 123 career games, 92 double-doubles. Over 70% of her starts have ended in a double-double. Remarkable numbers. Started her career at DePaul. Gamecocks first touch. That's a 3 from the corner for Bree Hall.
South Carolina at their best when they share the basketball. Fagan, outstanding job, being patient and then finding her teammate open in the corner.
Williams off the mark, tapped out. It'll stay on this hit. So the starting 5 for the Tigers. Coming in at 20-0 for South Carolina. 18-1, the lone loss at UCLA. Pow Johnson, Hall, Kids, and Fagan for head coach Dawn Staley. Great look on the inbounds play. Samaya Smith.
Miscommunication by South Carolina defensively, whether they were going to stay or switch. Really good look inside for LSU.
Gamecocks back to work. Raven Johnson at the top of the key. Chloe Kitts, the spin, and the finish.
South Carolina likes to run that little set to get Chloe Kitts the basketball on the left elbow so that she can drive to her strong right hand. Tough finish.
Seconds in, the atmosphere incredible in Columbia. Day Wilson stolen. For the steal by Johnson. Gamecocks back to work. Mid-range is there. Fagan connects. Her game has been elevated after the injury to Ashlyn Watkins 5 games ago. Flage, too strong. Kit standing out of bounds. It'll stay with LSU. Dawn Staley, year number 17. A remarkable job here in Columbia, building this program, branding this program, and, oh, by the way, the 3 national championships. She was energized in our conversation earlier today. Awaiting LSU, talked about this building rivalry. She has not lost to LSU, with Kim Mulkey taking over in Baton Rouge in 4 previous attempts. Williams, mid-range is there, 7-6.
Talk about her mid-range. Michaela Williams is so good on the mid-range, and she came off the screen, just had a little bit of space. That's all she needs.
Fagan has it stolen away by Johnson. Flage on the move, lays it up and in. LSU in front.
Really tough finish by Flage Johnson, because that was really good defense by Bree Hall, staying between her and the bucket.
Well, she's been so much fun to watch this season. It's picked up by Morrow. Fagan back to work. Rolls it in.
And we've seen a little bit of a lot that Sanaya Fagan can do. We saw the assist with a nice pass to the corner. We saw the mid-range shot go down, and there a nice post move as well.
Gamecocks haven't missed a shot. A hot start, 4 for 4 LSU, 4 for 6. Day Wilson thought about it. And now launching. That's a 3. Tremendous pace and offensive efficiency to start. All 5 starters for the Tigers have already scored. Pow pow. In and out. First miss by Carolina. Here comes Day Wilson. Past the double team. Williams the step back. And from downtown LSU, another triple. It's 14-9.
That last possession, South Carolina was icing that wing ball screen, and Day Wilson navigated the baseline well, made a pass. Teammates made an extra pass to get Williams the look.
5-point lead for the visitors from Baton Rouge. Postponed to get here because of the snowstorm. Some 6 inches of snow down near the Gulf Coast. Pow pow off the mark. Hits the offensive glass. She'll get it back. And tapped out. Stay with South Carolina. Kim Mulkey, the head coach for the Tigers. She's got her team ready to go. 4-time national champion as a head coach. 3 at Baylor. 1 in the SEC with the Tigers. Malaysia Fulwiley checks in for the first time. A wide open path. An easy 2.
Kim Mulkey talked to us earlier today about what a difference maker Malaysia Fulwiley has been in the last 2 meetings with South Carolina.
Morrow no good, and finally the 3rd time's a charm.
LSU has been all over the offensive glass here.
Fulwiley. Williams tracks it down and turns it over. Well, it's a budding rivalry between LSU and South Carolina. The lead is 5 for the 5th-ranked Tigers. We'll take you back in time coming up. Remember what happened in Greenville, just right up the road in the SEC Tournament Championship. We'll reflect up next.
Fulwiley, watch out for a highlight. Fulwiley crushed the 3. They can't both sides. 8 is pretty great, and South Carolina has an 8th SEC tournament title in the last 10 seasons.
Well, we talked to everybody today to find out how they would react the first meeting since that heated game, and is this a rivalry? Both coaches said it is. Kim Mulkey said it might not be a rivalry in the best sense, but it is good basketball. Don Staley saying that this is some of the most important games of the year because it lets them know where they stand and how they'll do. Kim Mulkey saying this is big girl basketball, so put on your big girl you-know-whats. And Flage telling me, I know we got a bunch of dogs on our team, but so do they. They know this is going to be competitive and big girl basketball.
Could we not say panties?
I wasn't sure. I was too scared to say it, Rebecca.
I think you just did say it. So we're there. Floater by Pow Pow is as well.
And that's the area that where her game really has grown, is her ability to get in the paint, especially hitting that floater.
Don Staley telling us today, too, this game's so big, not only because it's a rivalry because it means something in this conference. It means something in terms of the NCAA tournament as well. The importance of it cannot be stated enough. Morrow on the move.
Anissa Morrow has had a really solid start to this game. A couple offensive rebounds already. There she just beasts her way inside. It's remarkable what she accomplishes in the paint at her size. Listed at 6'1".
Pow Pow covered up by Flage. Step back three. Batted around, finally claimed by Day Wilson. Inside to Smith. Outstanding defense. And Flage on the putback.
LSU is #1 in the country this year in offensive rebound rate, getting 45% of their misses. And this is a game you question, can they get to the offensive glass against the size of South Carolina? They have so far.
Yeah, South Carolina without a defensive rebound. Gamecocks go back to work 7 minutes in, trailing by 7 at home, and here's another steal. And ahead to Day Wilson. Fastball sails out of bounds.
You heard Holly Rowe in the open talk about Anissa Morrow and her work ethic, and she just attacks Edwards. Shot blocker comes over as well, able to finish, and then Samaya Smith with the miss. Flage right there. That's a tough finish with a little righty hook.
Going back to Morrow for a moment. Is it born in somebody like that that's able to rebound the basketball at such a high level? Or is it learned? Is it a combination of both? Because she is only 6'1", but she leads American rebounding again this season.
I think it's a combination of both, but probably more nature than nurture.
Good look inside. And the bucket for Joyce Edwards. Well, the crowd here inside the arena, fantastic for a 5 o'clock start Eastern time on a Friday afternoon. It is a capacity look. They have been loud and proud to start. Bull Wiley. Kicks. Bottled up. Triple team. And she lost it. Flage ahead of the pack.
Those 50-50 balls are going to be so important. Anytime there's going to be a scrum, which team can come up with a few extra possessions in this game?
Both teams with 3 turnovers to start. LSU now rebounding South Carolina 8-4. Baseline jumper. Tessa Johnson.
LSU plays drop coverage on ball screens. When you play drop coverage, the mid-range shot is going to be there. We just saw that from Tessa Johnson.
It's the lost art in college basketball, the mid-range game. Day Wilson too strong. Pitts has it stolen away by Morrow. Anissa Morrow with a giant step in traffic. Will stay with the Tigers.
Wing pick and roll on the left side for South Carolina, and the guarding Edwards is going to drop off, drop coverage. And so when the guard comes off, there's no one there to prevent that mid-range jumper, and Johnson hits it beautifully.
And a foul. Wolfenbarger trying to turn the corner off the screen, and Joyce Edwards will pick up her first foul. That is the first foul of this game. Clean start for both sides. And Williams off the back iron. Gamecocks just 4 for their last 10. After the hot start, Chloe Kitts the pump fake. Over Morrow. Edwards inside. And she will shoot 2. Wolfenbarger picks up her first team foul.
One thing you know when these two teams meet is you better get a body on somebody when a shot goes up, because they both have terrific offensive rebounders.
58% free throw shooter for Jersey Wolfenbarger. Veteran officiating crew this game today: Joseph Vasily, Katie Lukanich, and Brian Garland. Couple of free throws, 1 possession game here at the end of the first. Williams off the screen, and the skip pass, nobody's home. Kaylin Gilbert had just checked in, and she was near the top of the key. That'll be the 4th turnover for LSU. Now, Gilbert has been a spark off the bench for head coach Kim Mulkey this season. A couple of game-winning buckets, including most recently against Tennessee. Left hand, no less. The glass, nicely done for Fagan.
Once again, really good patience. No help is coming when the post for South Carolina catch inside.
This crowd on its feet, a 1-point game. Here's Gilbert. The hesitation off the side of the backboard. Over to Morrow. And the first quarter comes to a close. The Gamecocks end on a 6-0 run, and the lead is won for the visitors from Baton Rouge 10 minutes in. Now coming up next, you will hear from the head coach of the Tigers. Kim Mulkey checks in with Holly Rowe here in Columbia. One-point lead for LSU moments ago. Holly Rowe with Kim Mulkey.
Coach, you talked about the importance of taking care of the basketball. How will you address with your team the early turnovers?
Well, I think we took care of the ball for the most part. I've been in this building down a hell of a lot more. I think we up one. So I thought we started off pretty good. They're subbing quickly, so that tells me a little bit about their rotation on who they think needs to be in the game, so I've got to pay attention to that. I thought we took a couple bad shots. You can't take bad shots against South Carolina. They'll make you pay.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
LSU has also gotten some really good shots, and often it comes off of on-ball screens on the wing. Here, a beautifully executed pick and roll with Anissa Morrow just catching, able to finish inside. And then on the right wing, after Day Wilson drives the step-up screen, you cannot go behind against a shooter. Michaela Williams is a shooter, and that time able to drain it. You have to be ready to defend the pick and roll on-ball screen when you go against LSU.
Rebecca Lobo, Roy Philpott, Holly Rowe back in Columbia. 10 minutes in, Dawn Staley, Kim Mulkey. Well, the Stars are out tonight. What a start in the Midlands. 22-21, and both teams shooting at a 50% clip or higher to begin.
Stars are out, and you're not even talking about Coach Mulkey's jacket.
Pretty impressive. We were wondering, what would the look be today? Full Wiley, no. And it pops back out to Raven Johnson from 15. Fagan inside, cleans it up.
I am such a huge fan of Sanaya Fagan. I think she is a terrific, terrific player who's going to be really good at the next level as well.
8-0 run for the Gamecocks. Morrow. Full Wiley. Swinging around. Tessa Johnson in and out. Wolfenbarger clears. Flage. Last year, Poa on the floor for the first time to begin our second quarter for the Tigers, and here's Gilbert. Pull it from downtown. And it's out of bounds.
Well, Sanaya Fagan leading the team in scoring. She has been remarkable this season. Starting every game, she is finally finding her rhythm. I asked her why. She said, it's just confidence. I said, what are you confident in? Myself. I know that I can pressure on defense. I can use my voice. Offensively, my mid-range 15 to 17 foot is money. I can get 2 feet in the paint and score. She knows exactly what she brings right now and playing with that level of confidence.
And without Watkins, she has seen that production on the up and up. Off the miss, Flau'jae Johnson throws it up and in and got the bounce.
How does she finish that? She tripped at the very end of her approach to the basket, still able to finish.
Johnson with a backdoor, and it was kicked out of bounds. It'll stay with South Carolina.
I mean, Flau'jae is so good when she gets out in transition, but watch the end here. She gets her foot caught on the defender, goes down, and somehow still able to finish.
8 points so far for Flau'jae, averaging 20 per game, 5th leading scorer in the SEC so far this season. Gamecocks will get it back. Only lost this season for South Carolina in Westwood at UCLA. Since then, Gamecocks have been dominant in every sense of the word. All of their victories coming by double digits. Timer down to 7. Pow Pow draws the double team and stepped out of bounds.
Good active defense by LSU on that possession. Don Staley probably a little bit frustrated anytime you get a turnover. You don't often see point guards wearing number 50, by the way.
I love the look.
Just an FYI.
It's different, but fantastic. Cheyenne Day Wilson, the Miami transfer. Here's Morrow through 3 defenders and gives it up. Johnson, Fulwiley. Somehow corralled it and was fouled on the way up.
The beautiful part of that transition was that Raven Johnson was throwing almost an alley-oop to Mylasia Fulwiley. We showed in the open how she had one of those in their last game, but came down with it and then got fouled.
The all-time leading scorer in Keenan basketball history, the high school located here in Columbia.
Mylasia's been trying to find a way to get on the court. You know, she doesn't start, and she's been really working hard at that. But in the last 2 weeks, Don Staley told us she's turned a corner. Mylasia told us, I just used to get so sad when I wouldn't get in, but now I understand it's a bigger picture. We talk a lot about what I have to do to get on the court. It's me. I have to take better shots. I watch film and see what I did wrong. After she sat the whole second quarter against Mississippi State, she learned her shot selection had to improve, and it has. That's why she's playing more early today.
How about the effort and the hustle there? Mylasia Fulwiley.
We talked about it, the 50-50 balls and having active hands. Edwards gets her hand on it. Fulwiley surrounded by 3 LSU defenders, able to come up with it and get the foul called. And yeah, Holly, she was telling us today, I had to learn the difference between a good shot and a bad shot. It is up to the coach to teach you that.
Fulwiley tracked down by Bree Hall. And a fresh 20. Hagan tries to go baseline, covered up for a moment, in and out on the reverse. Tigers jumped out to a 7-point lead in the first quarter. An 8-0 run by South Carolina changed that. And LSU gives it back to the Gamecocks here. Turnover number 7. Now the defenses have settled in to begin the second quarter. Only meeting between these two in the regular season this year. Fulwiley gets the bounce and it just died on the back of the rim. Williams outside to Flage. Drains the triple. Tied at 27.
The beauty of Michaela Williams, she can play the 4 if you need her to inside that possession. She ran the point, got inside the paint, and then delivered beautifully to Johnson.
Rebecca, we've already seen a lot of big shots made in this game. Edwards gets it back second time, and finally the rebound by Morrow. Lisa Morrow, 6 points, 4 boards. Outside to Flage again, a heat check, and it's short. Williams gets it back off the carom. Michaela Williams in traffic and off the glass.
The best part about that play was when she got the basketball, told her teammate with her hand, get out of here.
And Fulwiley fouled on the way up again. Malaysia finding ways to generate points at the line.
Michaela Williams wants the floor cleared, has the ball, get out of here, I want to go one-on-one. Hall is a very good defender, corrals the ball like a running back, goes in and finishes anyway. She's got brute strength.
Sophomore from Louisiana, preseason second team All-SEC. Nearly 17 points per so far this year. And Fulwiley back at the line.
By the way, later on in the game, if I do the Michaela Williams to you, it just means I want to talk.
You want to speak? Thank you. I think I understood that the first time around, but I appreciate the clarification. 2 for 2 at the line for Fulwiley. She'll get a breather. Raven Johnson back on the floor for South Carolina. And 6 points for Malaysia coming off the bench here in our second quarter. Tied at 29. What a start. And it sounds a lot like March in Columbia so far today. Flage, the mid-range. Morrow sandwiched between 2 Gamecocks. Out of bounds, it'll go. It'll stay on this end. The timeout on the floor. We are halfway home in the second quarter. Comeback with us tied at... Over to Holly with an update from the LSU huddle. Holly?
Well, this was outstanding. Kim Mulkey gets her team over there. She starts to yell at them for the way they're defending Malaysia Fulwiley. And in the middle of going off, she goes, I get it. She's really hard to defend. She's even admitting how challenging this young woman is, but they need to sink lower and try to cut off some of those lanes she's getting to the basket. Really went over it for a long time of how they can do better. Remember, she told us at shoot-around, Malaysia Fulwiley has kicked our butts the last 2 times we played them. They're giving her a lot of attention when she gets back out on the court.
Second foul on Joyce Edwards. It was the career-high 24 last year in the SEC Tournament Championship that was a big difference maker for the Gamecocks against the Tigers. Samaya Smith at the line, 71% this season. One more coming. Perfect start for LSU at 20-0, 5-0 in the SEC. Coming off an impressive win against Florida on Sunday down in Gainesville. The snow came into Baton Rouge. This game was supposed to be played yesterday. The travel not possible coming out of Louisiana to allow that game to happen. And a 5 o'clock start here on a Friday. You wouldn't know it by the attendance. It feels like a primetime matchup on a weekend where everybody has showed out. They've been loud and proud so far in Columbia. Gets off the fake. And tied up in traffic. Arrow gives it back to LSU.
We saw kids have success with that, catching at the left oval, driving right in the first quarter there. LSU defenders there to meet her. Rip, go, gets by her defender, Smith. Really good job getting her hands on the basketball.
Kaylin Gilbert back on the floor. Off the hesitation again, too strong. The contested layup. Morrow, no. And finally claimed by Bree Hall. Gets out of the double team. She'll get it back on Smith. In the air for a minute. Morrow another board. And Anissa Morrow now with 6 rebounds. Chloe Pitts just 1 for 5 to start. LSU has been physical inside. Rebecca, it's been a physical game so far without a lot of fouling.
I think the officials have done a really good job. Like, I don't think they're letting them play too physically. This is a physical game, and they're not letting it get out of hand, understanding what happened a season ago.
Is that a consideration if you come in to officiate a game like this, knowing what happened last year?
I think it is.
It's gotta be. Flage, good box out by Tessa Johnson. Elbow jumper. 3-on-2 the other way. Outside to Williams and an open look. Smith on the offensive glass. Well, you can tell Gilbert wants it. She'll take it, rejected by Kitts. Johnson rips it away. Timer down to 5. LSU with 12 offensive rebounds to start. Flage wants it now.
Great defensive possession by South Carolina. You heard Megan talking about their defense picking up in this quarter.
In and out, Fagan can't believe it. A great bounce pass by Pau Pau. An efficient start offensively in our first quarter. The second quarter, it's been a different story. 8 points apiece. 7.5 minutes in. Gamecocks just 1 for their last 12 from the floor. Here's Pau Pau on Gilbert behind the back. And a 3. Tessa Johnson. Gamecocks back in front. The 11th lead change of the afternoon. And Johnson on the Euro step with the jump stop.
How about Tahina Pau Pau, the previous possession, gets caught up a little, driving the wherewithal over her head to get it to Tessa Johnson for the 3. First of all, how did she get it there? Second of all, how did she even know she was there?
And then Johnson to drain the 3 off the sweet dish. She's got 5 points so far for Dawn Staley's team. Under 2 to go in the half. Williams picked up by Fulwiley in contact. There's a foul. Malaysia will plead her case. That's her first.
I can't tell if there's a foul there or that. There's a lot of basketball.
Johnson off the inbounds, off glass. And a foul against LSU. It's going to go on Morrow.
I mean, you had the nerve to mention how few fouls had been called.
Shame on me.
It's all on you.
It's the jinx. 2-point game. The jinx is real, by the way.
It is.
You do have control. Broadcasters do over free throws, consecutive 3-point shots made, things of that sort. Maybe not. Fulwiley size it up for a minute. Not the handles. Comes up short. When Morrow in traffic, it doesn't matter. She finds a way to get to the basketball. Poeta Smith. Morrow. No. Out of bounds and last touch by Fulwiley, who was down on the deck in the process.
Watching Anissa Morrow rebound is a beautiful thing. If she can even get her fingertips on the basketball, she just slams it into the other hand, isn't able to finish there, but she is relentless on the glass.
Well, the strength in the hands, tremendous. She'll keep it alive for a moment, and a foul called under the rim. And that is Morrow's second. So now South Carolina, Rebecca, in the bonus. The final 65 seconds of the half.
Morrow going to the bench with 2. We already saw Joyce Edwards go to the bench with 2.
Well, 6 points to 2 fouls, but 8 boards so far for the leading rebounder in America, Anissa Morrow. And here's Chloe Kitts. One more coming. Don't forget South Carolina, our featured ESPN2 Big Monday matchup. Head up to Knoxville against the Lady Vols, number 2 versus number 17. That's at 7 Eastern. Congratulations to Kim Caldwell. Birth of her child earlier this week. Missed the road trip to Texas yesterday. And Lady Vols on a different trajectory in her first season on Rocky Top.
It's really fun to watch them play. The way they shoot the three, the way they full court press. It's different from most teams, all teams in the SEC.
Tigers have missed their last 12 shots, make it 13. Williams gets it back. And now Flage off the screen. Pow the rebound. 10-second differential between the clocks. LSU led by a point 10 minutes in, and now South Carolina by 3. Smith claims a rebound. Shot clock is off for the Tigers. Williams says clear out. Picked up by Pow. Off the screen and the hesitation. Stripped away for Wiley. Nearly trained it from half court. A 3-point lead for number 2, South Carolina at halftime over 5th-ranked LSU. And Holly Rowe with Flage Johnson.
Flage, it seems like yesterday, the first time you played in this building, it was a blowout in the first half 2 years ago. You guys are different tonight. How is this? You come in and really set that aggressive tone.
Play with more poise. They're a great team. It's not going to be a blowout. We're a great team. It's going to be a game of run, so we just got to stay poised and composed.
The 50-50 balls, the hustle, the heart, you guys have shown a lot of that here in the first half. What do you think is the key to the second?
We have to, the same thing, just better execution. Our point guard is sat out probably about 4 minutes to go. That's crucial for us. She run the show, so we got to stay out of foul trouble.
Thank you so much.
The lead is 3 at half.
Take care of the basketball and really have some composure here to start the second half.
It is a sandstorm brewing in Columbia. The 3-point advantage for number 2. South Carolina, only loss against UCLA. You heard from Lauren Betts at halftime. The Gamecocks have been dominant since then. Their first touch to begin our third quarter. And Johnson, you see that rebound tracked down by Chloe Kitts. In and out. LSU claims the board after the miss by Bree Hall. Tigers had a 1-point lead after one. A good start. Michaela Williams, the spin and the finish.
So what do we see from first possession from each team? South Carolina back and forth, side to side. A lot of players get in touch. LSU go right inside to Michaela Williams on the block and let the big girl go to work.
Impressive start for her and a steal by Morrow. Cheyenne Day Wilson, coast to coast and blocked out of bounds. Fagan the rejection.
The look on Sanaya Fagan's face after she sends this ball out of bounds. Like, what are you doing, itty bitty, trying to come in here? Gets up, blocks it with her left. A little bit of a scowl as she looks down. Beautiful block by the big girl.
Day Wilson trying to find a player to inbound it to, and it's Williams. Over the shoulder grab. Tahina Pow on defense. The crossover by Williams. Pow clears. I mentioned it going out at halftime break. LSU only 8 points in the second quarter. Lowest scoring quarter of the season. After 22 in the first 10 minutes. Both teams defensively starting to clamp down after a hot start on offense. Chloe Kitts found a way.
Great delivery by Raven Johnson on that pick and roll. Defense stayed, it beat too long. Kitts rolled and finished.
Kitts has 5. Now Day Wilson. Flage wants to get involved. Scoops it up and in with a finger roll. 13 on the board for Flage. Brihal on the other end.
And Anissa Morrow just stepped back and let her go. Did not want to pick up a foul there. Would have been her third.
Morrow with 2. Day Wilson has 2. And inside it will go the other way. Smith with a shove. Gamecocks will run their motion offense in Pow. Looking for the high ball screen. Lost the handle and saved by Day Wilson right in the corner. Flage, the dump off to Smith. 37-36. 3 minutes into the third.
LSU has certainly had success getting into the paint. 22 of their 36 points have come in the paint.
Pow with a grin, backing away from Johnson. A little bit of contact and no whistle. Where she had the behind the head pass, set up a 3 in the first half. And a push. Raven Johnson had position. And that's going to be the third on Cheyenne Day Wilson.
You heard Flage Johnson in her halftime interview with Holly Rowe talk about the difference in their lineup when Day Wilson went out those last few minutes and they didn't have a point guard on the floor.
Kaylin Gilbert back on the court. We talked to her at shoot around. 16 in purple for LSU. She caught it the biggest game of her college career. She's got to find a way to get more involved for the Bayou Bengals. Kitts was fouled on the way up. There was a late whistle.
Oh, at first look, I thought Samaya Smith had all basketball. Eager to see the replay as it's coming here. She goes up to contest Kitts. Yeah, I mean, she had the ball, but then also got a lot of her face. That's the good call.
All ball initially, and then the follow through puts Kitts at the line. Second on Smith. And Chloe Kitts, 2 of 3 at the stripe. 6 points, 5 rebounds. Gamecocks 8 of 9 at the line thus far.
That's an area where South Carolina is much improved from a season ago, is at the free throw line. 69% last year, 77 this season.
Couple of blocks so far for Kitts. Johnson, mid-range. Fagan a rebound. Gamecocks with a little momentum to begin the second half. A great job by Hall to make sure the feet were inbounds, and now Kitts in and out. Morrow, a tough rebound. In traffic, her 10th. And trending and tracking towards that double-double. Day Wilson, no good.
That shot was too quick. I don't think Kim Mulkey was happy with that decision by Day Wilson.
6 board for Kitts. Pow an opening. Largest lead for Carolina at 5. Stolen by Fagan. 2-on-2, great look. Raven Johnson the layup and a steal. Johnson inside. Listen to this place. An 8-0 run for the Gamecocks, and what a scene in Columbia.
I want all of it, yeah.
Look at him, streaming DirecTV without a satellite.
Well, it's an 8-0 run in 80 seconds, and they're now with their largest lead at 9, and here's how it all went down.
It was fueled by South Carolina defense. Sanaya Fagan stealing the basketball, running the other way, all of her teammates in the paint and transition, then quickly, Raven Johnson just turns, steals the basketball again. Couple lazy moments by LSU. South Carolina made them pay.
You know, the energy in the arena after that run, you can feel it courtside, and LSU now has to find a way to respond. Holly Rowe, you were just listening to the huddle. What were you hearing?
LSU had an animated huddle. Kim Mulkey is pounding the whiteboard, really getting on her team. Assistant coach Gary Redis yelling at people saying, if you're tired, you have to tell us and you have to come out. They thought that was a sloppy couple of minutes, and it was. Kim Mulkey also really getting on her team right now for settling for jump shots. She's like, we're running well, but you're settling for those high mid-range. Get inside, get to the foul line, and get to the basket just like that.
It's exactly what Morrow did, and a foul on the putback after Wolfenbarger grabbed the rebound for a split second.
So where does Kim Mulkey go when she wants something other than a jump shot? How about Anissa Morrow driving to her strong right side, wasn't able to get it to drop. Wolfenbarger right there, foul called because she got undercut as she was going up for the old board.
Now, Rebecca, you've got Day Wilson and Gilbert on the floor at the same time. A smaller backcourt for Kim Mulkey. Anissa Morrow downstairs connects, 8 points, 10 rebounds for 24.
Right now, Morrow and Williams should be your 1, 2, 3, and 4 options if you're LSU. Get them touches.
I was going to say that'll quiet the crowd for a moment. Full Wiley. And Williams ahead. That pass was tipped and stolen away by Carolina. Boy, Hall hit the deck. They wanted a foul. Full Wiley clears it out in an offensive foul. Now a punishing finish. That'll be the second personal on Full Wiley. And a timeout on the floor. The lead at 7. LSU gets it back after this. Home wins, Rebecca. Impossible 53 straight. The regular season, the SEC, and also 16 in a row. That goes back to 2012 against LSU.
Just so you know the dominance that we've seen out of South Carolina for the past number of years, and what an incredible home court advantage this certainly is, especially in a game like tonight where 2,000 student tickets sold or given, however it works here. I mean, they have been absolutely remarkable.
They were here an hour before tip-off, wrapped around the outside of the arena multiple hours before this game started. Tigers have it. Williams goes to work, and the turnaround, a contested jumper. Guess what? Morrow, another rebound.
But out of a timeout again, what have we seen from Kim Mulkey? Get it to one of her big guns. The last time it was Morrow. This time it's Williams on the block. Let him try to go to work. Yeah, that's off on Fagan, yeah?
I believe so. 6 rejections so far for the Gamecocks. Lead America in that category. Gilbert's open for a moment, drains the mid-range. A good sign for LSU. 16 in purple needs to heat up.
They're under out-of-bounds percentage in terms of effectiveness. LSU has been really, really good today.
First points off the bench for the Tigers in this game. Gamecocks the most productive bench in America. No surprise there. Morrow clears the rebound.
Where did she come from? She just went and gobbled up that board.
Flew in off the screen. 8 points, 12 boards for Morrow. Gilbert feeling it. Take it again. And Johnson swats it out of bounds. So Johnson comes back in for the Gamecocks. Bree Hall goes out for Dawn Staley. Tessa Johnson, a nice spark in that second quarter, a couple of threes.
She's just kind of calm and sometimes under the radar when she's out there performing offensively. It's not flashy, but it is very effective.
Tigers' best offense tonight has been with the offensive rebounds. 20 so far, and that's off the foot of Wolfenbarger.
Raven Johnson has been really disruptive and really effective. We saw her steal that inbound before timeout a couple times ago to get the bucket. Just active hands, playing with a lot of energy.
Johnson with 4 steals so far. Gilbert goes back to the bench. Flau'jae Johnson back on the floor. Rebecca, anything you want to see different from Flau'jae? She's been at 13 points, it feels like, for about 8 or 9 minutes of game time and stuck on that number since halftime.
Well, for LSU, you want to get some stops and try to get out in transition. That's where Flau'jae really flourishes.
Wiley comes up short. Fagan, another offensive rebound for the Gamecocks. Flau'jae flourishes. I see what you did there. Wiley. Wiley gets it back under duress. The pump fake down and low for Joyce Edwards.
Really good job gang rebounding that time by South Carolina.
And the lead back to 7. Crowd re-engages. Williams up and under. Blocked by Johnson out of bounds.
Cess Johnson just effective. And then here, great step through by Williams. Johnson just right there. Just taps it, blocks the shot, saves 2. Just kind of understated. Her game is understated, but man, she's good.
Former McDonald's All-American. As are most of these players on the court tonight. I mentioned Flau'jae. Crossover. Throws it up off the glass. Morrow was fouled on the fall away. And that'll go on Fagan.
Yes, you know what more Flau'jae Johnson can do. I mean, Joyce Edwards just made her life really, really difficult on that drive and forced her to take a tough shot. Morrow just there for the old board.
Nisa Morrow, leading rebounder in America. Holly, she can do it all for LSU.
You know, and I talked to her today about why is she so resilient and so good. She said, you know, I had had 3 surgeries on my knee before I was 13 years old. I had to make a decision at an early age. Do I want to keep playing this sport? Do I love it that much? And the decision was yes. She has come back from all of those odds to become a really great player. Of course, you know, she had to go to a smaller school, DePaul, be a very good player there, and now here she is on the biggest stage. Her work ethic has shown the whole way.
Baseline, pow. Free throws coming for numeral 0, Garnet and White.
That was another instance where Morrow was there, and if she didn't have a couple of fouls, I think would have stepped in and contested that shot more. We've seen her a couple of times this half step away instead of contesting so she doesn't pick up another one. She only has 2. She probably could be a little bit more aggressive right now.
Tahina Paopao, 73% at the line. Gamecocks 10 of 11. Make it 11 of 12. And the lead back to 8. And it's getting late in the 3rd quarter in Columbia. Gilbert. 8 blocks now for the Gamecock defense.
Gilbert has made some questionable decisions in the first half and here second. Driving left and going up against formidable shot blockers in South Carolina.
Her and Day Wilson remain in the LSU backcourt. Morrow an anchor inside, looking her direction, and stolen by Wiley. Tessa Johnson. Edwards, up and in. The lead grows to 10. And where will the offense come from for LSU? Perhaps Williams. Back iron with a 3. Johnson. Hauls in another rebound for South Carolina. Now Wiley. Right off her kneecap and out of bounds.
One of the things that South Carolina post players do really well is run the floor. Joyce Edwards sprinting down, doesn't get the ball. She doesn't stop working. She knows that the ball is going to come off on the opposite side of the rim right there to finish.
LSU with only 41 points tonight. It's a team that is 3rd in America in scoring at almost 91 per game. And the transition buckets, we talked about how to get Flau'jae Johnson more involved for Kim Mulkey's team. have not been there so far in this one.
Look at how physical Hall is being with Flaugier right now. Did not let her make the Iverson cut over the top.
Now it's Williams, back to Morrow. A spin move. The defense too strong by Fagan.
But it was also Hall coming over on the help side.
Inside a foul. Anissa Morrow didn't like the call on Samaya Smith. That's her third.
Bree Hall, you see her on the right side of your screen, just comes in as Morrow makes her move, stops, helps, double teams. She started that possession by bodying up Flaugier Johnson, not letting her cut over and run the play.
Gamecocks in the bonus the rest of the way. 44 seconds remaining here in our third quarter. One that has been dominated by the nation's #2 team. Edwards will get one more. Don re-energized this team. It was interesting talking with her today. Team's already lost a game. Last year was always the conversation about being undefeated, running the table, and the pressure that came along with that. They hit the reset button after that loss to UCLA. And it's been a different vibe surrounding the program. Taina Paopao even told us, yeah, it was a relief. It's been intense since then. You get the sense it's been better, at least mentally, with that loss already behind you, instead of all the questions about can you run the table and finish the season undefeated. Shot clock is off. LSU just 11 points in the third. Smacked out of bounds with 3.2.
Really good defense by Michaela Williams, walling up, not letting Hall get an angle to the basket.
Inbounds to Chloe Kitts. Monster step, too strong. That is how our third quarter comes to a close. The Gamecocks outscore LSU 18-11. And coming up, we'll hear from Dawn Staley, the head coach for the Gamecocks. 10-point lead for #2 South Carolina moments ago. Dawn Staley with Holly.
Well, Coach Staley, LSU is a team that scores a lot of points typically. How has your defense set the tone in this game?
It's what we do, Holly. I mean, it's what we have to do, not what we do. It's what we have to do in order for us to put us in situations where we can win basketball games. Only 50 and 40 points. You're not going to win a whole lot of basketball games scoring that amount, so you got to defend.
You guys have started to separate here. There's been some moments where your team really started to get that chemistry piece. How have you seen that?
I mean, this crowd, when you get this crowd involved, you know, sometimes it can be a detriment because we want to keep feeding the crowd, but we got to play disciplined basketball. I thought we took some ill-advised shots. I thought we made some ill-advised passes, all because we're trying to keep this crowd involved. We got to play better basketball, make better decisions, and be more disciplined.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Holly. Nice Jack.
Now, third quarter dominated by the Gamecocks. You take a look at the shot chart and where those points were coming from, and South Carolina found a way in the paint.
Yeah, they certainly got the looks that they wanted once, whether it was off of drives or delivering the ball inside, getting to the offensive glass as well. And you heard Dawn Staley talking about her team's defense. They have done it without fouling. LSU only 2 for 4 from the free throw line.
And for a team that has had problems scoring points against this Gamecock defense, that has to change in the fourth.
I wonder if LSU might go with some more Michaela Williams as their ball handler, keep it simple, pick and roll with Anissa Morrow. They just have to find a way to get some halfway decent looks.
Only 19 points combined in the last 2 quarters, and Morrow's having to fight for everything for that position inside. And again against Kitts. Flaugier lost the handle. She'll try to get it back and commits the foul.
So it was an on-ball screen with Morrow, but it was Flaugier, and South Carolina's done a really good job stifling her when she's tried to ball handle coming off of that screen. There was just hands everywhere.
Johnson with 3 fouls, the lead at 10. She's also been stuck at 13 this entire second half. The majority of it, at least. Now it's Johnson on Johnson, and Tessa Underneath the basket outside of Pow Pow. Michaela Williams. Jump stop, lost it. Pow Pow to Kitts, the skip pass to Hall. And tap tomorrow, she'll rip it away from Chloe Kitts. And they'll say it's a jump ball. And the possession arrow gives it back to South Carolina.
That's a quick jump ball.
It seems like the whistle's been faster at times this year overall, but I agree.
The jump ball whistle or just every whistle?
The jump ball whistle. It's a slippery slope. Traveling. Maybe the ball doesn't lie there for Pow Pow. Well, how much fun has it been to watch her at Oregon, now in Columbia, and delivering so many big plays. The great personality, her family supporting her brother with her for all of these road trips. Scoreless so far in our fourth quarter. Flage with 6 to shoot. The clear out. And now Williams got to go. Contested shot. And a long two is no good.
Start to finish, outstanding defense that entire possession by South Carolina.
I heard Dawn Staley tell Holly that defense has been tremendous so far today. After the rebound and a foul.
There were so many things that South Carolina did on that last possession defensively. First, they don't let Williams post up inside. They don't let Flage do anything with the handle. It was start to finish a 30-second outstanding defensive performance.
Third foul on Morrow. He's trying to find out what happened to that contact lens. So the lead at 10 gives us a moment to remind you, two of the top teams in the Western Conference will square off at our next ESPN Hockey Night. Golden Knights and the Stars. Dallas Stars tonight at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here on ESPN. When you hear the music, you know what time it is. Rebecca, you were telling me earlier today, Sanaya Fagan, in the absence of Ashlyn Watkins, her stock really starting to rise, and in terms of draftability, this is a player could have a long career at the next level.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a superstar to come in and be a really solid performer for a WNBA team, and I think she just has a skill set where she can help somebody. And Dawn Staley was saying, you know, she can make her teammates better in practice. There's a lot of
down in the SEC on the men's side. Brock Spencer, the head student manager in the house for the Bayou Bengals.
He's a grad student in his 6th year, so he was here 2 years before even Kim Mulkey got here. We saw Anissa Morrow lose her contact a little earlier. How about Rock? 3 times has had his glasses broken over the years as he's been a practice player. Kim Mulkey said, I'm going to buy you some contact lenses. So he's got his contacts, courtesy of Coach Mulkey.
Rock, paper, scissors going to work, as is the South Carolina defense. Another block inside. And that is now the 10th of this game for LSU. Rebecca, you were talking during the break about how the Gamecocks have been nearly perfect defensively in this second half. To that point, the last LSU field goal in this game came with 4 minutes and change in the third quarter.
Their defense has simply been stifling, and it's little things, not letting players post up. Help side coming over. That was Raven Johnson, the guard, who was able to get that block shot. They have been on point, and they can play hard the entire game because of the depth that they have. 81%
of their total shots contested by Carolina. Williams, lid remains on, but free throws coming for Michaela Williams for LSU. Chloe Kitts picks up her first foul. And Williams at the line. SEC Freshman of the Year a season ago, the 2-time Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year. And one more coming. Two up to the line, the lead back to 9. And the bounce pass out of bounds. It'll go back to LSU. Holly has been spending time with Dawn Staley over there. An important update for the South Carolina's head coach, Holly.
Well, she continues to make history, signing the most lucrative contract extension in the history of women's basketball. She'll be with the Gamecocks through 2030, $25 million, over $4 million per year, and she deserves it. She told us today a quote that just absolutely gave me chills. Not very many opportunities that women get what they deserve. It's a beacon of hope, and it's okay for administrators to do this for women. I didn't know success had a gender, and I hope that it does not.
Pretty incredible, the success that Dawn Staley has had since she came here and rebuilt this program.
I mean, she really constructed it. Year number 17, the 3 national championships. Another block for Carolina, the 11th of the game. Tumbling out of bounds, it was Tessa Johnson. Wow. Johnson off the cut and the finish. Flage blocked away to Raven Johnson. Euro.
The defense of South Carolina stifling. Incredible block by Tessa Johnson on one end. Then South Carolina goes the other way. And Johnson with the cut and the finish inside. Her numbers have not been gaudy, but she has been terrific and impactful.
4th foul on Flage. On the rebound, she'll have a seat on Kim Mulkey's bench for a minute. Yeah, Tessa Johnson's box score, 7 points, 3 boards. Doesn't begin to tell the story. Joyce Edwards down low. She's now in double figures. And the lead at 13, the largest of this game for the Gamecocks. Williams, in and out. She'll get it back from 15. And finally, a field goal.
And that was the Williams-Morrow pick and roll. Still resulted in a tough shot because South Carolina's defense continues to be on point.
First made field goal in 9 minutes. We're back in 30. Fantastic sequence there for South Carolina.
Joyce Edwards just beasting inside, catches nice footwork, creates a little bit of contact, spins the other way. The highest scorer on South Carolina is Joyce Edwards with 10. Their highest scorer is 10. They just have so many players who are contributing.
Everybody else, it seems like, is between 6 and 9. But that's how they do it. You look at the numbers this year, nobody blows you away in terms of their total points per game production. 11 blocks. The defense has been on point. Late whistle. Edwards back to the line.
You know how hard that pass was for Raven Johnson to make? The defender is fronting. She throws it, and the only place where Edwards can go get it and have a chance to score.
Her 4th foul. Anissa Morrow. Joyce Edwards.
Post players love a guard who can make a post entry pass. Watch this. The front is there. There's help side defense, so just throws it where only Joyce Edwards can get it. Outstanding look.
And the Gamecocks with less than 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, starting to seize control in this SEC showdown between 2 top 5 programs. LSU without a loss this year. Certainly being tested. That would be an understatement on the road so far. And Morrow hit the deck. That's going to be a foul on Fagan.
Bit physical inside, and here just a lot of body, and then Morrow definitely embellished, but it was a foul.
That's a foul.
That's not a flip flop. That's a foul.
Good look to Gilbert, who just checked back in. Missed the layup. Morrow with a putback. So Anissa Morrow, the double-double machine, now with 11 and 13. Her 93rd career double-double. Lead down to 10. Screening for Hall. Fagan. Back to the line. And the fourth foul, Samaya Smith. So Smith has 4. Flau'jae Johnson with 4, and Anissa Morrow also with 4 fouls in this one. And Sanaya Fagan back at the line, 10 points, 1 more free throw. And Rebecca, my question still remains, where will the offense come from for LSU down the stretch, given the defensive tenacity for South Carolina shown?
I think that's Gamecock's question as well.
When you think about what another matchup could look like between these two in Greenville in less than 2 months in the SEC tournament. Here's Day Wilson against Raven Johnson, up and in, and a chance for 3. So a spark for a moment by LSU's point guard, transferred from Miami.
South Carolina had stymied the pick and roll earlier in the possession, and so now with the way South Carolina is defending, it just has to be players making plays. And that time, Day Wilson was able to do so.
Day Wilson, a mainstay in Kim Mulkey's starting lineup for most of this season after coming in from Miami. Kim Mulkey told us today, we've got to fight until the bitter end tonight to have a chance. And now faced with a 9-point deficit, less than 4 minutes to go. Johnson to Fagan and over the back. It was Wolfenbarger. Both teams in the bonus. And Rebecca, the pace of this game in our second half, it's been more of a grinded out affair with free throws galore for South Carolina. And right now, Gamecocks have attempted 8 more, or made 8 more free throws than LSU has attempted, I should say. They have found a way to get to the line with Fagan.
I think they've done a better job of attacking and getting those fouls called.
Joyce Edwards has also been at the stripe 6 times. 1 more for Fagan now. 3 of 5 at the line. You see the disparity between the two sides. LSU, one of 2 remaining undefeated teams in America, the other UCLA. The only team that has beaten South Carolina this year. Samaya Smith down low.
Nice little one dribble into the paint and then delivering to Smith. When was the last time we saw LSU get an easy shot?
It has not happened in about 3 quarters.
Really good defense by Williams there.
Lead at 8. 7 to shoot. Smith with a steal. And an opening for the Tigers. Well, Gilbert thought about it for a moment. Williams picked up by Hall. Off the screen. Little give and go. Smith. That shot was bothered again. She'll try to save it. Does for a moment, but corralled by the Gamecocks. And ahead. Layup is no good.
Smart play by Tessa Johnson.
Boy, missed opportunity on the empty possession by LSU. A chance to cut it to a 2-possession game. Carolina gets it back and calls a timeout.
I mean, keep in mind, this is an LSU team who has been in this situation before. They have come back from deficits this year to win. They are 5-0 in games decided by 10 or fewer points. But man, you got to finish on plays like that last one.
Flau'jae Johnson checking back in with the 4 fouls. And still with 13 points tonight. Holly, what are we hearing about Flau'jae?
Well, you know, she was really interesting today. She's been working a lot in the offseason with some pretty high-profile training partners, Caitlin Clark and Paige Becker. She said she's learning a ton from Caitlin. One of the tips that's meant the most to her is on playing fast but reading the defense slow, learning how to go a little bit better. And Paige, the tempo and pace that Paige Beckers plays with is teaching her how to be better on that end as well. I love that she is seeking out some of the very best in the game to sharpen her game. Not only that, she's still working on her R&B career. She's got a big single dropping for Valentine's Day. Flaw and B, it's a new R&B melodic melody that will drop for the Valentine lovers out there.
I thought you were going to get a hint of what that sounded like earlier today. I guess that didn't happen.
I'm still waiting.
Like the rest of us.
Well, first of all, I want that to be a 3-on-3 team. Paige, Caitlin, and Flage.
Wow. That would be incredible. Must-see TV. 7 to shoot. The lead at 8. Tessa Johnson. How beautiful was that move?
That kid, she has just made winning plays. Even her decision the last possession to pull the ball out, winning plays.
Crowd on its feet in Columbia. Day Wilson. Anissa Morrow. Yes. Another incredible performance for Anissa Morrow. The double-double, 13 and 15. And a foul on the trip.
Talk about Tessa Johnson making winning plays here. Just patience, balance, elevates, hits. 6-foot-tall guard. And we've seen a lot from her today.
Del Tac. Gamecock sideline. Tessa Johnson. Well, fun to watch the winning plays, and you heard Ella Megan talking about it at halftime a little bit, the spark that she provided in that second quarter. Really the difference, the end of the half and to start the third, the difference in this game after LSU led by 7 at 20-13. Gamecocks went on an 8-0 run and kind of held the Tigers at arm's length since. Two teams that have combined to win the last 3 national championships, putting on a show, but it has been all South Carolina in the second. And Morrow fouled by Kitts. Well, that's the last thing you want if you're South Carolina. The clock stopped and free throws for a team trying to attempt to come back on the road. Yeah, when Flage and Holly were talking at shoot-around, and Flage just kind of dropped it in casually. I'll let you have a listen to the preview of the upcoming album. I thought we were going to hear it right there. We're still waiting.
She doesn't trust you. She doesn't trust me. She trusts Holly.
And now 93 double-doubles. All alone in second place, only trailing Courtney Paris from Oklahoma. Rebecca, you asked about the number pregame. How many total games has she played in? It's 123. Out of those 123 games between DePaul and LSU, 93 double-doubles.
75% of the time she's on the floor, she gets double-double.
Gamecocks, search of a bucket. And Morrow, jump ball, gives it back to LSU. So an opening with less than 90 seconds to go, down by 7.
That was another quick jump ball.
I told
call.
you, it's been quick.
Morrow just in there competing, Johnson as well. And this game is far from over here.
Do they need a 3? Too early for that?
No, they just need a score, a good possession.
Williams on Johnson, around the screen, and penetrating inside, in and out. And another jump ball. The arrow gives it back to the Gamecocks.
That one definitely was a jump ball. I mean, how many times have we seen, though, LSU get inside and have a ball spin around the rim and pop right back out? That would have been a big bucket cutting it to 5.
Had 2 possessions in the last minute, ending in the paint.
Extending their full court pressure now, trying to speed up South Carolina, maybe get a turnover.
Under a minute to go, the shot clock at 17. Raven Johnson will slow it down. And Morrow with the foul. That's her 5th with the timer at 7.
She was not trying to foul. That looked just like a simple poke from behind. I didn't think there was enough contact there to call a foul.
And her evening comes to a close with her team down 7. In and out with a free throw by Raven Johnson.
See, get a look from behind here. No, that's not a foul. That's not a foul. LSU has to box out here.
Lead back to 8. And LSU will call a timeout. (64-56), 46.3 seconds to go. And Rebecca, it feels like the Tigers have had opportunities in these last 2 minutes and change on offense, but again, South Carolina defensively, the Clamps have been down, and it's a team that averages 91 points per game this year. Their season low is 68. At 56.
And now they're going to have to go quickly. You don't have to look for a 3 necessarily, but you do have to go quickly. I'd look to get the ball into Michaela Williams, let her drive, see if she can get a touch in the paint and finish, and then you got to play the foul game.
Now, so many possessions, the Gamecocks have been just about perfect with their defense.
It's been elite effort and execution to their game plan, and it's been a team effort. They've had active hands, active feet, players coming over on the help side, and we get to see these beautiful block shots, but it's about so much more than that. Possession to possession, denying passes, not letting players post up inside. They worked a lot this morning in shoot-around on how they were going to defend, and the players were clearly paying attention and have executed really beautifully here today in this game. LSU has 56 points, averaged 90 on the season.
And South Carolina on the verge of winning its 69th game in a row here at Colonial Life Arena. The last loss way back in 2020. And continuing this incredible season after that early loss to UCLA. Johnson in and out. And another foul after the rebound was grabbed by the Gamecocks. And let's see, a timeout will be called.
Johnson around and out. Again, how many times has LSU had the ball just burp out of the basket? So instead of Michaela Williams getting the ISO and driving to the basket, it's Flau'jae Johnson. You like her going right. Good defense, doesn't get anything easy. That's what you want to do if you're South Carolina. Force a tough shot, they did. Then corral the defensive board, they did.
Well, you look at some of the numbers from this game, and people are going to be talking about this matchup really until the end of the season. LSU tonight, 11 of 29. Not from the field, not from 3, not with a mid-range. 11 of 29 with their layups. Missed 18 shots right there at point-blank range.
South Carolina is one of the best at defending in the arc area, but still.
So no foul before the timeout. And Tessa Johnson will be picked up by Miracle Shepherd, who just checked in. And so far, they're choosing not to extend this when they'll play out the possession. And a little surprised we're not seeing the foul.
Yes, I'm surprised they didn't foul right away.
Don Staley says, let's run our offense. Johnson on Williams. Great look to Edwards. And that will just about do it. (66-56) will be our final score in Columbia. The Gamecocks remain undefeated in the SEC, 19-1 overall, and LSU unbeaten no more. (66-56) our final score. Don Staley's team gets it done at home with the outstanding defense here at Colonial Life Arena. Let's get you to Sports Center.
From your perspective, just what went wrong and what did you tell your team after?
Turnovers at the wrong time. Turnovers. Had critical turnovers. Maybe a couple of them were back to back, but I thought the momentum shifted there when we had those, Raven took it on an inbounds and just little things like that we've got to mature and grow up and be prepared for.
Right here, Corey, in front.
Kim, it seemed like Nice never really got comfortable today. Just, I guess from your vantage point, just what were they doing? I know they doubled her some, but what were they doing that kind of just got her out of the game just a little bit?
I thought she did fine. She had a double-double. She's 5'11", 6 foot in there, and she led everybody in rebounding. Hell, we had 28 offensive boards, and you lost by 10. So what does that tell you? It tells you we're not doing anything when we get those offensive boards. You got to do something with them. You got to score. You got to take good shots. I didn't think Nice did anything but what she usually does. Yeah.
Coach, not many teams hold South Carolina at under a point per possession, especially in this building, but you guys did. What did you like from your defense and the defensive effort today?
I thought our defense, and I thought South Carolina's defense was good. Low-scoring game. Both teams, scouted each other pretty darn good, and it wasn't an entertaining game from an offensive standpoint, but I didn't think it was a boring game. I thought it was a very good game. We just played our man-to-man like we always do. We didn't double anybody. I didn't notice that South Carolina did anything different. Just two teams that are very talented going at it.
Hey Kim, Pete Yakabelli from the AP. Flo J had a big first half and was able to get a bunch of points there. They kind of locked down on her a little bit in the second half. What did you see them change up on her?
Nothing. Just bowed their neck and contested shots and got physical. Thought it was a very physical way. They'd have a hand on her when she'd try to catch the ball, but that's the way we defend. That's basketball. Flage guarded Pow Pow, right? Look at Pow Pow's stats. So Flage had a decent day too. It's just, guys, in this game, it's just a little thing that usually is the difference. And to me, it was turnovers at the most critical time that allowed the crowd to get into it, allowed them to gain a little more confidence, and yeah.
Go for a few more in here and then a few with our local on Zoom. Anybody else in here? Reed?
Are we still an enigma, Reed? What you think?
I don't know. You tell me.
Me either. You watched that game. Are we still an enigma? Or are we pretty decent?
I think you're pretty good.
I do too. Learned a lot about my team today.
What did you learn?
I learned we can hang with the best in the country. And I do think they're the best in the country. I know UCLA put it on them, but I do think, look, I don't know that I've ever coached against a team that's got 10 McDonald's All-Americans on a roster. How do you even keep 10 on a roster? And that's what we faced today. And what a challenge it was. And it was an enjoyable game to coach in. And man, was it good for women's basketball, but it was good for the SEC.
How do you get over the hump?
What is the hump? Beating them? Well, let me ask you this. What's most important in sports? Winning national championships, winning conference championships, or just beating a team you hadn't beat in the 5 times you played them? Which one's the most important? You dang right. You stay in this business long enough, it's a game of runs. When I started at Baylor University, I couldn't beat Oklahoma. Stayed after it. Got tired of the sports writer asking me about it. He quit asking me, we caught up with him. I know you look for different things. I get all that. But at the end of the day, this is the beginning of the 4th year of my tenure at LSU. And if I ever put beating South Carolina as a priority over Natty's, they're too good to do that right now. Dawn's been here 17 years. But I do remember playing them when I was at Baylor, when I had been there 17, 18, 19 years. You don't focus on those things, Reed. You focus on the bigger picture. And the bigger picture right now for LSU and for South Carolina is we're doing our part in women's basketball to bring great recognition and great games. And let's keep doing it.
One with Corey and then one back there before we go with a couple here.
Kim, how do you start the process of very positive game for the team today? How do you start the process of building on that positivity and momentum?
Well, let me tell you, I'm not into moral victories. So let's get that out there. We lost. But it was a good game. You talk about what each of them could have done better. You make them answer it. You get in the film room for a short period of time, and then you get back to work. You head to Baton Rouge, and you get in that film room for a little bit, then you start on a very good A&M team that just beat Kentucky at home. This is not the biggest game of the year. Y'all might think it is, but it's not. The biggest game of the year is when you get to the playoffs and you got to keep grinding. But yeah, kudos to South Carolina. Great crowd today. They're good.
Brendan Doherty from the Daily Gamecock. Coach, you had your starting five play 85% of your minutes tonight. South Carolina had 8 players play at least 15. Did you feel like there was fatigue as you reached the fourth quarter?
Well, you got 10 McDonald's All-Americans. Flip a coin. Y'all can play any of them you want. Got to keep them happy, right? I don't have that. I've got to go with what I have, what I feel in my gut. Fatigue could play a part, you know, but I always tend to give credit to the opponent. The shots we missed could have been fatigue. The shots we missed could have been their good defense. Yeah, you got that many. Who you gonna stop? Pick your poison.
Our questions here on Zoom. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Kim. Hey Kim, Matt Brady with On 3. Just defensively, what y'all were able to do to bother them and stay in the game. Just what did you like and what did y'all do effectively?
Well, we rebounded. I mean, we dominated the boards against a South Carolina team, but we've always been able to rebound. There are two things, Matt, and I've told y'all this in our press conferences at home. I learned from the best in the business, Leon Barmore and Pat Summitt. If they didn't teach me anything, they said you better defend and you better rebound because you're not going to shoot it good every night. So our rebounding kept us in the game when we were not shooting it and we missed shots and didn't get to the foul line. And I thought our defense made them have to work hard to score the ball. I can't think of many just easy shots that they got. And you can build on that. You can build on that, and when you see a game and it comes to fruition that those two things were big today, then it makes them continue to work hard in those areas.
Cobble.
Yeah, Kim, do you feel like you gotta have more than just the big three that you got to kind of win these big games here that you want to play in March?
Well, sure, you'd like to have more. You know, and I do think we have more depth on the perimeter, but our bench was not very productive tonight. And it has been very good all year. But yeah, you'd like to have more than those three. I'm gonna call Dawn and tell her to send me some of those she doesn't play. I don't think she'll do it though.
Brandon.
Hey, Coach, this is Brandon Harley with New Stitch Media. I know it was a talk about you guys playing a soft schedule. A lot of people was kind of frowning upon it, but tonight coming out against South Carolina, you played a good game and came a little short. Like, what are your takes on that?
I've been doing this 40 years. It's not the first time I've heard people complain about a soft schedule. I know my team better than anybody. And what I've been doing has worked. I think I don't get caught up into what the TV people want you to do or the NCAA selection committee thinks you should do. If we didn't send a message today, who do we need to play to send the message to? We were on their home court, and I think everybody got to answer some of that enigma questions about a soft schedule or whatever. We won a national championship, buddy, and everybody talked about the soft non-conference schedule. So that ship has sailed. Nobody needs to talk about that anymore. Let coaches do what they need to do to get their teams ready for the playoffs, and that's my goal every time I step on that court.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Coach.
Raven, there was that sequence in the third quarter where he scored the layup, stole the inbound, scored another layup. Just could you break down that sequence for us real quick?
I remember Sanaya, she was dribbling down the court, and I was like, Allie, just throw it in the air. And I got it, and then I tried to fake, and then I stole the ball, and I laid it up again, and I just heard the crowd go, just screaming. So, it's things like that we like to see in the CLA. So.
For both of you, Coach Mulkey was just in here praising the depth of this roster. Just for you guys, your opinion, how much did the depth play into the win tonight for y'all?
I think we went in, and I think one of the most important things was to tire them out. I think having a team like this that we have with a bench that's just so deep, I think going into these games is really important for us to get into their bench. Sorry, bench.
I guess for either of you, LSU came out hot, shooting the ball well, scored, I think, 22 in the first quarter. Did anything change offensively after that first quarter, or was it just you guys kind of locking in a little more?
I think, honestly, the biggest thing for us was boxing out and rebounding. I mean, I know you guys saw it out there. Anissa, I think she had quite a few offensive rebounds, and some of the other post players and guards had some offensive rebounds. And I think when we saw that, we really, kind of keyed in on the fact that we had to box out and get the rebounds.
Bree, it seemed like there was that first quarter 22-21, and then the next three quarters it was both teams really struggling to find shots. What did you see out there? Was it fatigue or just tough defense?
I think it was tough defense both ways. I think we were also missing some things that we don't usually miss, just to be completely honest. And basketball is like that. You're going to miss some, you're going to make some. And unfortunately today we missed a lot of the ones that we typically make, but I think that was probably the biggest thing, is missing the easy shots and tough defense on both sides too.
Raven, you guys had 22 points off of their 17 turnovers, 11 blocks, and I think 13 steals. Describe how this team has started to lock in on the defensive end, and how rewarding is it when you guys are turning defense into offense?
I think it comes with trusting one another. I mean, we emphasize a lot on gap help and just helping our teammates. So I think just trusting one another and just knowing that our teammate can get the defensive assignment and knowing they can stop the player that they have at the night.
For both of you, I mean, this stretch that you're on right now, Texas and Alabama and Oklahoma and now LSU, are you guys playing as well as you have all season at this moment, and how do you keep that going? How do you keep that rolling?
You go.
I say we're doing this for Ash. Honestly, she's a big part of our team, and when she went down, I think everybody, we want to do this for Ash. I mean, we want to keep going. We want to win for Ash, and I think the loss, when we had the loss in the beginning of the season, we needed that. Honestly, It made us come back together and made us realize that we can't come back how we were last year. We got to bring another firehouse and something else to the table, because teams are coming at us. So I think that loss helped us and Ash. So we're doing this for Ash.
Raven.
I agree with everything he said. I mean, she said everything she said.
Yeah, noted. Raven, going back to the defense too, I know a lot of off-ball actions you guys were really able to blow up, and especially on baseline out-of-bounds plays. And you mentioned how well you guys are playing off of the ball. Is that maybe a little bit of scouting and the connectivity, and what kind of goes into being able to do that against a team that has guards that are pretty explosive offensively?
Okay, I'm gonna first start off with Breezy Hall. We're seatbelt game. I mean, every time before we start a game, we always be like, we got the biggest defense assignment, so let's lock the other best players up, and we always be like, we're the co-host of seatbelt game, so let's do this.
Mm-hmm. I think she ate. She said it all.
Bree, when you first hit that three-pointer, first three of the game, I kind of saw the emotion on your face, on the bench's faces. I know we hear that it's just another game, but can you describe the emotion just from tip-off to winning this game today?
I mean, it was really a hyped up game. I mean, I'm sure you guys all know it was the most talked about game. I'm talking about we were like scrolling on TikTok, and we have very personalized TikToks, and everything was like South Carolina LSU, South Carolina LSU. Everybody had something to say about it. Everybody had their own opinions and stuff like that, and stuff like that fuels me. And it feels my teammates as well. Just hearing different opinions and who they think is going to win, and so we go into the game like, oh, like, we got to show these people. Like, people think, you know, and there's a lot of people that think, like, we're just not that good in no matter what we do. So I think going into the game, it was just a lot of emotion, a lot of energy. And of course, you can see by the fans in there, it was very emotional, highly celebrated game. But I think just going into the game, it was really hype, and I think it just showed out there on the court, just the hype for each other and hype for each other on the bench, and it was really good.
Going off that, for Raven, Dawn was telling us yesterday that having an extra day to prepare for this does kind of change the preparation, obviously, for it all, but especially just emotionally having to wait another day to play this game. How did that affect preparation, and what was it like waiting another 24 hours to take the floor?
Oh, and I tell you, we was ready to play. When they said the game was moving, we were like, oh my gosh.
Yes, we was like, oh my gosh.
Another
like,
day to wait is crazy. But I mean, we were ready for the moment, and you know, when the horns started, I mean, when the ball tipped up, we were ready. So I think Coach prepares for, you know, moments like this and big games like this.
Yeah, guys, I did want to ask you about that atmosphere. What was it like playing in an arena that loud?
Boy, it is something. It is something. It's really incredible, like, genuinely, because it is just so loud. It gets so loud. And I've always, like, asked my teammates, I'm like, I want to ask somebody else what it's like to be on the other side of the stick where you're playing here at our games, because it has to be hard.
They're like our sixth man, honestly. If you want to give a sixth man award, give it to the Fams, because they're really like our sixth man. All right, thank you.
Dawn, a pretty fast-paced first quarter, 22-21, and then seemed like maybe both teams maybe got a little fatigued or just the defense settled in. What did you see from the bench?
I mean, I saw the mental piece of playing such a game during this time. I don't think we played necessarily disciplined. It was hard to get our players to just kind of lock into what we needed to do, and sometimes you just gotta let them play. You know, it was fast-paced the first quarter, you know, and then the break. I mean, it really is a blur, because I'm looking at them play, and it's not really us offensively. And then defensively, I just thought we gave a gritty performance. We just locked in, and we just continue to fight, continue to get loose balls and the 50-50 balls, and the rebounds that we didn't come up with, we were in the mix. So some of those rebounds they were scoring off in the first quarter. The last part of the rest of the second, third, and fourth quarters, I thought they didn't score. They got dead ball. They got dead ball. They got the dead ball, but we were able to set our defense up and defend.
Coach, sticking with that defensive talk, 22 points off of turnovers, 11 blocks, 13 steals. How locked in is this team right now on the defensive side of the ball, in your estimation?
I think we're pretty locked in. I think they really are connected. They understand that we're pretty good. They do. They understand that, and they understand why we're good. And that is our gap defense is pretty good. Our scramble out when teams get ahead of the possession. And then we just got to fight to just go get the basketball. Tonight, the block shots were impressive. Just our grit. Our grit was great. You need to have all those things to beat a team like LSU.
Raven's someone whose stats have kind of been under a microscope all year. A lot of people like to pick apart kind of the field goal percentage. She had those 4 points in 5 seconds, but also she was incredibly, intelligent with the basketball, pulling out that rebound late in the fourth quarter that kind of stopped LSU's potential late run. I guess in a game like this where there's so much highs and lows, what does it say about, her in those 5 seconds, but also her ability to really weather whatever storm?
People can break Ravens' game down, but at the end of the day, Ravens a winner. Like, she's a winner. Doesn't matter how many points she scores, doesn't matter how many assists that she has, doesn't matter how many steals. At the end of the day, she's a winner. She's always been a winner. Like, she only speaks as a winner. She doesn't care about anything else besides winning. And then, with her on our roster, we've done nothing but won with her. So, I mean, the naysayers can say what they want, and I do think she's a pro. I do think the things that she does for our team translate to a pro lifestyle. She defends. She can run a basketball team. Can she hit it? Does she need to be a little bit more efficient? Probably, but she's bringing everything else that a coach would want. All those intangibles, it can't be forgotten.
You guys haven't really had a game like this just kind of turn into a rock fight all year, except for maybe Michigan in the opener. Is it good as a coach to see your team kind of win a type of game they haven't really played all year?
It is. I mean, I think we're chameleons, so to speak. We could play the type of game that's being played. I thought we were forced to play a certain way tonight, and it was just the gravity of the game. It was it was necessary for us to win this game. The implications of the SEC standings, the NCAA tournament, like all of those things matter. And we could say it's not a big game, but it's a big game. It's a big game come March when we're playing in the SEC tournament, when we're playing in the, when the NCAA committee gets together and see us winning this game. And for tiebreaker as well.
No Eagles gear today, Dawn?
No, they told me to wear garnet, so I had to wear garnet. I'll pick that back up on winning Monday.
The statement you guys have made the last couple weeks, beating a number of really impressive teams this year, that's got to say something about where you guys are headed, what you guys are able to accomplish.
Yes, I think we've gotten to a place where we've trimmed the fat off of losing. Like losing to UCLA has helped us just kind of refocus and get back to how we need to play to be successful in this league. In the non-conference play that we scheduled, and then moving into the NCAA tournament. Like you have to figure out ways, and you have to figure out what it is that on any given year, what this team needs to do, what our team needs to do to win. And for us, it's a collective effort. Like it's totally collective from a post standpoint, and then the guards have to play a certain way, and then fortunately for us, we've been able to just mesh the two of them and create something pretty good because they're totally connected. They totally want each other to be good and make an impact.
Hey, Dawn, how did you guys overcome the rebound discrepancy, and how are you guys also able to limit their second chance opportunities when they got them?
I thought we fought. We fought. I know Anissa is really, really hard guard. Like she is. And I told our team there isn't anybody that we've played this year that's going to play like she plays. No one, right? And I don't think there's going to be another person that plays like her. We were able to just fight, and although we didn't come up with the rebound, we knocked it out. Dead ball situations where we can actually defend and try to box out again. Like, but she had her way with us. But I thought our guards did a really good job at gang rebounding. If we didn't get it, then we're able to establish setting up our defense and trying it again. And fortunately for us, they didn't score a whole lot off of their second chance points after maybe the first or second quarter.
Hey, Dawn, Sanaya Fagan having another big day. I know you've talked about just her path with you and learning from Aaliyah, learning from Camilla. What have you seen from her really these past 2 to 3 weeks and her growth and also just her belief in herself to be a go-to big-time player?
I mean, it's been a build-up for her. I think Fagan is now starting to just impose her will and showcase her talent because she's very, very talented. I said from day one she was probably the most talented post player that we had. And we had Aaliyah, we had just mere talent. And I know we're not utilizing all of her skill set, but you're seeing it. Like, she's been passing the ball incredibly well. She understands what we need. She's a communicator out there on the floor. Like, she's a unifier on the floor. And now her offense is starting to get going for us, and it's coming at a really great time because, we need points in the paint. We need bigs that are able to face up and sweep and drive on people. And it's been a build up for her. So I'm really happy. Fagan is probably one of my more favorite players, only because she stuck with us in a time and day where it's so much easier to just leave. Like, she could have been starting for someone else. Now I don't know if other coaches would have allowed her to get away with sometimes not giving her best effort. But she understood she wasn't giving her best effort. This is what her best effort looks like on a consistent basis. And you see her, she played 36 minutes. We couldn't afford to keep her off the floor very long. So it's just that, the stick-to-itiveness, the loyalty, and her parents are great people who, they wanted her to play more. Yes, they had questions throughout the whole process, but at the end of the day, they knew the talent that their daughter had, and they knew that if she stayed here, that we were going to pull it out of her. We're not going to just give her. I could have given her time and, smoothed it over, but no, she could take what we were dishing out, and that is, no, you're not going to settle. Not going to settle. And she just stuck with it, and now you're seeing. I think she's going to put herself in a real good position to play at the next level.
Dawn, I got 2 quick ones for you. First one, it looked like you guys were going after the LSU stars early on in that game on the offensive end, going after Flage a little bit, going after effort to try to get some tired legs in towards the back half of that game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's part of it. Keep pushing the ball down the floor, keep making them work hard for catches. Yes, we know they don't play like they play 6 or 7 players, and you have to use that against them. They're that talented that if you allow them to rest on defense, they have more energy to take advantage of you on offense. So yes, that was part of the game plan.
Absolutely. And then so following up on that, your depth outscored their depth 31-2, which is pretty impressive. Talk me through that and how your bench played today.
I always tell our bench, you're the number 1 bench in the country. Only you have that number beside you, that number 1. And they could go other places and start. But I got to let them know what they mean to our team. We don't win without the contributions in the first half of Malaysia Fuwale. We don't win. She had it going on. She was getting to the bucket. She was assisting. And then you come back and Tessa hits the biggest shot of the game to me. The baseline out of bounds, huge when they were mounting a comeback. You got Joyce. Joyce is, I'm going to put it out there. Joyce is going to be the best player in college basketball one day. I say that only because of her work ethic and her intellect and her want. She's highly motivated. I don't know if that's what she wants to do, but she got all, she's like very Aaliyah-like when it comes to what she pours into her game. So a lot of times basketball will repay you in such a way that you become the best player in the country.
Well, Dawn, you started to answer my question. Joyce, I feel like, is the most casual leading point scorer in the country. She's obviously doing this off the bench as a freshman and through this loaded schedule. Obviously, long term, she's got great goals. But for this team and the playoff run you want to go on, what can she be for this team?
Just that. Like, Joyce injects what we need. She has the physical presence to guard. She has the moxie to guard. She plays with huge bravado on both sides of the basketball. She believes if she's got a smaller person on her or a bigger person that she's going to score, right? She defends. Like, she's unafraid. So, what she can keep giving us is what she's giving us. And she plays the right way. Like, she makes good basketball decisions, and that's why she's able to be as efficient as she's been over the past couple of games. And, now she can add this to her belt. Picked up her third foul early in the third quarter, and I wanted to take her out, but I also wanted to keep her in because of her presence. And she just said, let me stay in, I'm good. And when a player says that, it's a trust thing at that point. Like, I got to trust her to not get into foul trouble, and then she got to trust me to know that I let her stay out there, so she doesn't want to, she didn't want to put me in a position where I can't trust her. So it was huge. Like, it was great for her to play through that.
Coach, obviously a good defensive performance tonight, and that's a physical talent and physical positive, but can you talk about how it's also a mental strength to kind of frustrate opponents and get in their head, especially in big games like this?
I don't think we frustrated them at all. They are a team that's probably, mentally tough. Like, they play with bravado. They play to win. They seem to turn the page. For us, we have to play that way. We have to be disruptive. We have to force people to have to turn the page and turn the page quickly, or else, we could see it happening out there on the court. I didn't see it happening out there on the court against LSU. They next paged it, and they got it down to a 3-possession game. So we know that they're never going to give up. But a part of who we are is to disrupt offenses.
Dawn, Raven was just in here talking about how the FAMs at CLA tonight were the sixth man. Based off tonight, do you think there was anything special from the crowd tonight? Extra special?
That's probably the loudest that it's been. And I know some people may argue that, maybe a UConn situation might have been louder, but for them on the Friday night at 5 p.m. to pack the house, to change their plans because some people flew in to see the game on Thursday and it got pushed back. Quite incredible. I will never get tired of this place being full and them cheering us on, and I'll never tire of just showing my appreciation for them because, it takes money, it takes time, it takes all of those things to prepare to come watch us play, and I hope we've, made it worth their while, and I hope that they got more than what they dished out monetarily.
All right, thank you, Coach.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.